Screen Rant presents I'm Ryan Wright.
And I'm Taylor Bradley.
10 amazing movies that were almost ruined by these decisions. Let's see what they are.
Ooh.
I hope NSYNC in Star Wars Episode 2 is on this list.
Almost ruined, though.
Yeah, almost.
That's the key word.
They were almost in it.
Wait, what?
NSYNC. Because George Lucas wanted to appeal to the
It's
youth.
Star Wars. It's like, what are we even talking about right now? Okay, almost ruined.
Here we go.
Casting is one of the most important aspects of putting together a film. The filmmakers have to make sure they have the right actors for each part in order to establish the proper emotional connection with the audience. This causes them to test several thespians, and some interesting what-ifs could have drastically altered the course of movie history. Here are Screen Rant's 10 movie castings that could have changed popular films.
Okay.
Superman. Christopher Reeve is still many people's version of the perfect Superman. But
Yes.
what about the Italian stallion? Sylvester Stallone
No.
hard to play the part, but was
God.
turned down because he was deemed too Italian. He later found out that Marlon Brando had casting approval and was the one who turned Stallone down.
Good.
Stallone went on to criticize Brando for his
Love
part in
Marlon
the decision, blasting him for using Superman as a paycheck and nothing more. Stallone loved the character and mythology, so he certainly would have brought the passion. Justice? We'll
No.
never know.
Would not
Star
have
Wars:
bought
Attack of the
that.
Clones. George Lucas needed an older Anakin Skywalker for Episode 2, and one name he considered was Hollywood superstar Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo met with George Lucas to discuss the part, but turned it down to work on Gangs of New York with Martin Scorsese. You have to hand it
Yeah.
to DiCaprio for his foresight. Gangs launched one of the most successful actor-director combos of this century,
Yeah.
while Hayden Christensen floundered into obscurity after Star Wars disappointed. As talented as he is, even Leo may not have been able to save Lucas's
Nope.
clunky dialogue.
Yeah.
Nope.
Much prefer watching him chase Oscars instead of battle droids.
Ah.
Jerry Maguire. Tom Cruise was born to play sports agent Jerry Maguire,
Yeah.
injecting him with a rock star persona befitting of his A-list status. But Cameron Crowe had originally envisioned a different Tom headlining this comedy, Tom Hanks. But the Oscar winner was too old for the role by the time Crowe was ready to
He's a
enter
little old
production.
for
He
it,
was
but I
already
love
making
Tom
that
Hanks.
thing you do. Hanks
That's
is
a
an
great
all-time
film.
great. But it's almost impossible to see him as Maguire after Cruise's terrific performance.
Cruise was
Imagining
perfect.
him on the phone with Rod Tidwell just seems wrong.
Cruise was perfect.
Casino Royale. When the Bond franchise moved on from Pierce Brosnan, the producers had to do an extensive search to find the next 007. Daniel Craig landed the coveted role, but one of the names strongly considered was Sam Worthington, star of James Cameron's Avatar. Craig's
admit that
interpretation
bad.
was a darker iteration,
And not
but
too
still
innocent
maintained the
looking.
dry wit
Yeah,
and
he's too
charisma that
young.
defined the
Yeah.
character. Qualities Worthington has not shown in his attempts to become an action star. At least he'll always have Jake Sully, but Worthington was not right for Bond at all, and Craig has become a fan favorite.
Yeah, he's pretty
Toy
good.
Story. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are forever intertwined thanks to their work together in the Toy Story franchise. But Hanks could have been paired up with someone else. Pixar originally offered the Buzz Lightyear role to comedian Billy Crystal, who turned it down. He regretted it after
I
seeing
could
the
see
film,
that.
but in retrospect,
No, he was
it
perfect
the
for
right
Monsters,
call.
Inc.
Crystal's
Yeah.
hyperactive
Yeah.
style may not have been the best fit for the macho aloofness that carried Buzz through the first film.
That's
It
true,
would have
and he
made the
needs to feel
character
sad.
funny from the start and not as convincing for audiences. Crystal eventually got an opportunity to work with Pixar, voicing the lovably zany Mike Wazowski in
Yeah.
Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, that was perfect for him.
Pulp Fiction. Jules Winfield was made to be played by Samuel L. Jackson, but he almost missed out on his career-defining role. While Quentin Tarantino wrote it specifically for Jackson, he was very impressed by an audition from Paul Calderone. When Jackson heard this, he flew out to Los Angeles to meet with Tarantino again and secured the part. He ended up launching his career to superstardom and earned an Oscar nod. So it was a wise decision.
Yeah.
Calderone got a small part in the film as bartender Paul, and he's so friendly and welcoming, it's hard to imagine him reciting Ezekiel 25:17 as a cold-blooded killer. Collateral. The role of besieged
Another
cab driver
Tom
Max
Cruise movie.
eventually went to
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx and earned the actor an Oscar nod, but the character evolved as the project went along. The screenwriter had wanted to use Robert De Niro in an obvious callback to his famous Travis Bickle character, but De Niro was deemed too old for the part. In a shocking
Yeah.
twist, none other than Adam Sandler met with director Michael Mann
No.
before the director decided to go with Fox. To his credit, Sandler has turned in some dramatic performances,
has.
but he's not as versatile an actor as
Yeah,
Fox.
true.
Batman Begins. When rebooting Batman, Christopher Nolan tried out several actors for the Caped Crusader, and chose Christian Bale to bring the property back to respectability. But one other name he considered was Cillian Murphy, who would play the Scarecrow in all 3 films of the Dark Knight trilogy. Murphy's a strong actor, but if he were Wayne, that would mean someone else would have to play Jonathan Crane. Since Murphy's turn as the villain was well received, and Bale went on to put his stamp on the character, we're happy things turned out the way they did. The Bale voice has gone down in legend. Captain America, the First Avenger. Nowadays, it's hard to envision anyone other than Chris Evans as the Star-Spangled Man, but The Office star John Krasinski was in the running for the role. He exemplifies the same optimistic, gung-ho attitude that's so vital for the character.
I think he would have been
It would have
great.
been interesting to see if he had the action chops to pull it off.
Well, he
Evans
just had an
looked the
action
part and
movie,
already had
didn't he?
major
Yeah,
blockbuster
13
experience,
hours.
Yeah.
playing Johnny Storm in 2 Fantastic Four flicks. Even if those weren't great movies, they still showed Evans had what it took to play a likable superhero.
I think
Back
he
to
could
the
have done
future. Michael J. Fox is inseparable from Marty McFly, but scheduling conflicts initially caused him to skip out on the film. Robert Zemeckis originally went with Eric Stoltz
That's
and began
right.
principal photography,
I
but
forgot
a
about
few
that.
days in, he realized something wasn't right, and Fox worked a deal to take on the role instead. Zemeckis felt Stoltz wasn't funny enough to play Marty, and to his credit, the actor agreed with the decision. The rest is history. And Fox's sense of humor and comedic chops made him an instant classic with movie fans.
Yeah.
There's no one else we'd
He's
rather
amazing.
see introducing the world to Johnny Be Good. So what do you think of our list? Which near casting decisions would you have liked to see happen? Sound off in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.
That's from Screen Rant, people. Check out their channel. They do a lot of videos like that. Stallone as Superman.
Oh my god, that would have
would've
been atrocious.
That would have been like Stallone back in the 70s. Great actor.
Yeah.
Rocky, he was fantastic in
Right.
it. Superman, though, the
No.
voice is too like his voice is
It would have
way
come
too
across
specific.
it would have come across comical.
Yeah.
No one would have been able to take that
Ugh,
seriously.
I can fly.
Well, they said he was too Italian. That was- yeah.
It's more than his look.
No, yeah.
It's his voice. It's
It's the
everything
voice and
he
everything.
does.
Yeah.
But I know he could pull off the body, sure.
Right, but there's way more. I mean, so many people in Hollywood.
And he's
could have
short too.
Done. Yeah.
I am mad that they even considered him for the role.
Okay, let's calm down.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Take some breaths, please. Okay, I'm also really proud of Marlon Brando for being the one to make that decision, too.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
brilliant. He's known for making amazing acting choices. He ran an acting school forever. Like, yeah.
And he's also, like people did criticize him for just doing it for the paycheck. People still really liked him as that character.
Yeah.
Jor-El. Yeah.
That was
So
it. I just wanted to say
that's
what was that
that's
thing.
my little point. Yeah. DiCaprio almost cast as Anakin Skywalker. Thank God DiCaprio did not do that.
I mean, I'm glad he did Gangs of New York instead.
Yeah.
But I also feel like even seeing the poster with him photoshopped on as that thing looked a little bit B-movie.
Yeah, totally.
Didn't it seem a little bit more like cheapened?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Leonardo DiCaprio cheapens movies, because he definitely doesn't. He's been in a lot of really amazing movies recently. But him younger like that, I think it would not have fit well.
For episode 2?
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Especially because George Lucas manages to make great actors not look so great.
Right.
Like, his direction for acting is horrible.
It can be.
The only time he did an okay job was Star Wars, the first one. Now, the prequels, horrible direction on acting. It's just like, Natalie Portman is one of the best actresses of all time.
She's amazing.
She sucks in the Star Wars movies, though.
Yeah, she's not great.
And it's not, I don't think it's the actor's fault a
No.
lot of the time. I feel like a lot of it comes down to George Lucas's direction. So I feel like DiCaprio still wouldn't have saved the movie, and I thought it was a great decision that he went with Scorsese, because it's like, who would you rather work with? A legendary director who's known for bringing out amazing performances and actors,
Right.
and establishing that relationship, which could hopefully lead to something long-term.
Or an Oscar.
Or an
Which
Oscar,
still has
hopefully.
never
Yeah.
happened.
We'll see. Revenant, he was amazing in.
We'll see.
Yeah, I hope he gets the Oscar for Revenant. DiCaprio, I've always respected his decisions.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks and Jerry Maguire, can't see it.
No, I think he would have been a little bit... I mean, I love Tom Hanks. I loved him in every single movie that I've ever seen him in. He's so lovable. He's, like, so charming. But I just think Tom Cruise...
He's the perfect fit for Jerry Maguire.
Yes.
Young, sexy sports agent.
Right.
You know, like, he was perfect. The charisma like, not to say Tom Hanks doesn't have charisma or that he couldn't pull off the role. I just feel like Tom Cruise, hands down, would have been the best choice.
Right, which they obviously agreed with you.
Thank you, Cameron Crowe, for agreeing with me.
Casino Royale?
Casino Royale. Yeah, Sam Worthington, this video I felt like could have given him a little credit for pulling off Bond. Because he was in Terminator Salvation, which was an action role as well. He did Avatar, which required action. And he also did the Sabotage, which required action. So I feel like he could do action.
He just doesn't have enough pain in his eyes.
Yeah, there's a lack of intensity.
And I think Bond needs to have a little bit of pain.
Yeah, especially for the Bond they were going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the performance would have been as powerful. And Daniel Craig's proven himself to be a much more reliable actor, too.
Yeah.
Plus, Daniel Craig, with that scene where he's, like, naked and he's getting his balls hit. Trust me, Veronica and I, we have done that. Swing the rope, hit the balls. I'm like, oh! Oh!
This is weird.
You want to watch it sometime?
And cut.
Billy Crystal for Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, I mean, okay, when you hear Woody, you hear Tom Hanks,
Yes.
and I love that.
Yes.
When I hear Buzz Lightyear, though, I hear only Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
I'm not aware I'm listening to Tim Allen at
Yeah.
the moment, you know? With Billy Crystal, like, I forgot, Mike
Wazowski.
Wazowski, yeah. That's perfect for Billy Crystal, and because it seems like this is a Billy Crystal kind of character.
Right.
Whereas Buzz Lightyear kind of wouldn't have matched the Billy Crystal persona.
No, and I think they nailed it when they said the masculinity of his voice. It needs to be so, like, booming, and he has to take himself very seriously because he doesn't think he's a toy. And I think that's one of the whole things that sells that relationship is that he has to take himself so seriously. And I just feel like Billy Crystal would struggle with that.
Yeah. It's funny how a wrong casting decision can go a long way.
Oh, yeah. Casting is, like, the number one most important thing about making a movie.
That's why actors are treated like royalty and why they're better than us normal people. Actually, what's interesting about Pulp Fiction, I thought they were going to point out something else. John Travolta's role, that was his comeback role.
Yeah.
That was Pulp Fiction. People loved him in it. However, Daniel Day-Lewis that was one of the few roles that he was actively trying to get.
Really?
But Tarantino was saying, no, I want Travolta, and Travolta was perfect in the role.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like Daniel Day-Lewis, because Pulp Fiction with John Travolta's character is kind of more like, he's more laid back and like a hangout guy. He's not like the most intense, there's intense scenes with him, but he's not like the most intense dude. And I don't know, Daniel Day-Lewis, he's a great actor for like the super powerful performances.
Like Abraham Lincoln.
Like Abraham Lincoln.
There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, like periodic performances, biopics and stuff. But something about his personality I don't feel like would have meshed as well with Pulp Fiction. However, Daniel Day-Lewis can also do anything.
Yes, but I think Travolta was great. And now we have a wonderful gif because of him.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? Where he's like holding the jacket and he's looking around lost?
No.
What?
Collateral. That is one of the best movies I've ever seen. I don't know if it's in my top 10, but if I had a top 20, I'd probably put it there. Jamie Foxx was wonderful in the role. They were saying they were thinking of De Niro.
Yes.
Would have been a totally different movie.
I don't think it would have been bad. I just think it would have been very different.
Part of the great dynamic of those characters was the fact that Tom Cruise, he looked aged. He had gray hair in that movie. They grayed up his facial hair. They made him look a lot older, and the fact that Jamie Foxx was younger creates a more interesting dynamic. If De Niro looked around the same age or older, it just wouldn't have been as powerful for some reason. The fact that Jamie Foxx was young shows that he's less experienced in life, and he has his ambitions to make a fucking limousine business.
He's more naive.
Yeah, it makes more sense for the character and makes more of an innocence behind the role.
Right.
Whereas opposed to De Niro, we're used to seeing him be a tough guy and stuff.
Right.
That I feel like Jamie Foxx was perfect because he was known for his comedy way more at the time.
And it was a good career move for him.
It was one of his smartest. I think that was a year he also won for Ray. I think Ray and that movie came out the same year, yeah.
All right, the Batman flip. Here's my thing. I'm not a huge Christian Bale fan.
In general?
In general.
Really?
He takes himself so seriously, and you can tell. But
And
if this was their other choice for Batman, like, I would rather see Christian Bale than this guy. I don't see him as Batman. And if it was between him and Christian Bale, I'd probably still pick Christian Bale.
Cillian Murphy also, like, he doesn't look American.
No, he looks very European.
Yeah, he doesn't look American, and Bruce Wayne's very American,
Oh, hey, I have a joke for you.
Yes?
If you're a Russian on the way to the bathroom, what are you once you get there?
Russian on the way to the bathroom?
Yeah.
What?
European. European? Yeah. It's one of my favorite jokes.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
Captain America. I think the guy from The Office would have been great.
John Krasinski?
Yeah.
I think he would have been cool too.
I don't see any problem with it.
However, though, Captain America, like, fucking Chris Evans has, like, the all-American
Look.
Yeah, sexy look. But John Krasinski, I felt like would have been an interesting choice. I feel like he would have brought a unique charm to the role.
I think so too.
Because in the first Captain America, I thought the film was kind of bland overall. Like, I wasn't a big fan of the first Captain America. Not bland. Bland is the wrong choice of words. But Captain America himself, I felt lacked in personality.
And I think he would have brought that.
And I feel like he would have brought that. Granted, Chris Evans has proven that he's a great Captain America in later films for me, like Winter Soldier, Avengers. Yeah, I think he's great in those. But for the first Captain America, I don't know. I feel like they did such a great job with casting comedic actor Paul Rudd for Ant-Man. I feel like John Krasinski could have brought something really unique as well. Yeah, totally. So that would have been a choice I wouldn't have been upset about.
Yeah,
that would have excited me. Listen, guys, this video's done. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to The Real Rejects. Taylor Bradley, Instagram.com/TaylorBradley91. She was born in the year 1991, the year of the Jewish dragon.
I don't think that's a thing.
Yes, it is.
Is it really?
The Jewish dragon. The one that flies higher, and then breathes fire.
Oh my gosh, you almost had me for
Higher.
And I'm just like, I am the most gullible
My
person.
dragon sounds like Al Pacino.
But it sounded like you were coughing up a hairball.
An Italiano Americana web
New
series on
web
her
series.
channel. Check it out. Season, what episodes have been released so far?
All the way through episode 8.
And when do new episodes come out?
Every Sunday at 7.
Good. And Taylor Bradley says there's no nudity in it, so
But there are bikinis.
how often?
Like every 4 episodes, probably.
No, if you want more views,
Every
bikini.
episode.
More bikini. What's that girl's name?
Emily
Emily what?
Jordan.
Alright guys, if you want to see this girl in a bikini, check out her show.
She's gorgeous. And she's really funny.
Yeah, those are reasons too. This video's done, Taylor.
Oh my goodness.